The story begins in 1931, where we are shown a view of Paris. Here we see a man named Papillon who is a thief and an expert in opening the biggest safe. One day, Papillon stole the most expensive diamonds in the city and gave all those diamonds to his boss. Here his boss asked him, "Have you kept some diamonds with you?" On this, Papillon refused and asked for his work money. Then a man was brought in front of him who was badly injured. Here, the boss of Papillon says that this man tried to double-cross me, so I did this to him. And if you have such a thought, then remember, I will do worse to you than this. Now, Papillon was very nervous seeing this, but he did not react in front of the boss. After this, he took his work money and quickly left from there. After this, he went to meet his girlfriend Nanettie and gave her a beautiful necklace. He also showed his girlfriend some diamonds that he had stolen from his boss. But unfortunately, one man was watching over Papillon, and he saw those diamonds in Nanettie's hand. Now unaware of this, they spent the night together, and the next morning Nanettie told Papillon that we should leave this world of crime and start a new life. On this, Papillon asked him for 6 months so that he can save as much money as possible and start a new life. However, the next moment, all their hopes were shattered because the police knocked on the door of Papillon's house. The police accused Papillon of the murder of that man who was killed by his boss last night. Here, Papillon tried to explain to him that he was with Nanettie the whole night, but the police didn't listen to him and put him in jail. Till now, Papillon had understood that all this was done by his boss, and now no matter what he does, he won't be able to get out of this jail. And that's why he started thinking about running away from this jail. Here, a fellow prisoner named Juliet said that he would need a lot of money to run away from this jail. Only one person can help with money in jail, and that is Dega. Dega is a millionaire and he has a lot of money even inside the jail. He used to be a big businessman in his time. But one day, the police caught him with fake notes and put him in jail. The next morning, all these prisoners were put in a boat and they all set off on a secret jail trip. That evening, Papillon comes to meet Dega and tells him that all the prisoners of this jail are your enemies and they want to kill you and take all your money. But if you want, I can protect you. But in return, you will have to give me some money so that I can escape from this jail. However, Dega rejected Papillon's offer because he could not trust any of the prisoners in the jail. That night, a tough guy killed the prisoner sleeping next to Dega because he had hidden a lot of money in his stomach. Now, Dega was worried about his life, and the next morning, he accepted the offer of Papillon. Now, according to the deal, Papillon has to protect Dega until Dega doesn't want to escape from this prison because he was sure that his wife will get him out of there. That night, the prisoner attacked Dega and tried to kill him, but Papillon came in between and saved Dega's life with great bravery. However, the jail guards got alerted after hearing this noise and they punished Papillon and this fat prisoner. Days passed, and after a long journey, this ship reached its destination. This place was one of the most dangerous prisons in the world, which was built on a secret island. And the most dangerous prisoners of this jail were kept in this jail. After reaching the island, all these prisoners were brought in a line and they were taken down from the ship one by one. But during this time, Juliet injured himself on purpose so that he could be admitted to the hospital and escape from this island as soon as possible. After this, all these prisoners were brought inside the jail where many murderers. The warden of this jail was no less than a criminal and he punished the prisoners for small mistakes. Here the warden told all the new prisoners that it is impossible to escape from this jail. Now, since this jail is built on an island, so even if you run away from here, there will be a big sea in front of you and it is impossible to cross the sea. The warden says that if a prisoner is caught running from the jail, then he will have to spend 2 years in a dark room. And if he tries to escape again, he will be sentenced to 2 years and 5 years. But if a prisoner is caught for the 3rd time, he will be put in a jail called Devil's Island. After going there, every prisoner loses his mental balance. The warden also says that if you kill someone, your head will be removed from the body in front of everyone. The next day, Dega and Papillon were given the task of keeping the heavy logs on a trolley. Here, Papillon's eyes went to a man with a cap, who was a fisherman. He also had a boat, and with the help of that boat, Papillon could escape from this jail. Here, Papillon gave that man greed for money and asked, "Can you get us out of this jail?" On this, that man says, "I will get you out of here, but in return I want $5,000. Here, Papillon agreed to pay the money, after which this man told him to come to the shore of the sea the next night. After this, the man told them to come to the shore of the ocean the next night. Now even the jail inmates should know that Dega has a lot of money, and out of greed for money he even tried to kill Dega. However, once again Papillon came to the beach and somehow saved Dega's life. Now after seeing all this, he has understood that he does not survive even a day without Papillon. And that's why he also decided to escape from jail. Now the next day all the prisoners in the jail were gathered because today one of the prisoners the next day all the prisoners were gathered because one of them was going to be punished. And this prisoner was no one else but Julid, who killed 2 guards in the jail in an attempt to escape. And that's why he was sentenced to death. After this, Julid was brought in front of everyone and his head was cut off and he was taken to the Valley of Death. Here, the warden ordered Degas and Papillon to take Julid's body and bury it in the jungle. After this, they picked up Julid's body and took it to the forest to be buried. But during this time, Dega's leg was sprained and he fell to the ground. But the guard hit him with a stick when Dega didn't do this. Now, Papillon felt very bad after seeing all this. So he picked up a stone, hit the guard's head, and ran away. Although Dega also wanted to come with him, he couldn't move because of the sprain in his leg. That night, Papillon reached out to the boatman and asked him to leave. But instead of helping Papillon, the fat man started laughing loudly. Then Papillon saw that the jail guards had surrounded him from all sides. And now he realized that this boatman was also a warden's man. After this, Papillon was brought back to the jail where the warden told him that the guard whom he had killed. Luckily his life was saved and therefore his life would also be spared. But he will be sent to an island called St. Joseph to escape from the jail, where he will have to spend 2 years in a dark room without any sound. Prisoners of this jail were given a thin soup in their meals, which was not enough for any human being. And because of this, many prisoners became weak and some were killed by hunger. Days passed by and one day Papillon got a piece of coconut in his meal. There was also a letter with this coconut on which it was written that he would get coconuts to eat daily from today. Papillon understood that Dega had done all this. He thanked Manji Mandega and ate the coconut. However, Papillon's happiness didn't last long because the warden soon found out about this. He got angry and killed the guard who used to give coconuts to Papillon. After this, the warden asks Papillon who is the man who sent him the coconuts. But when Papillon didn't say anything, the warden ordered that Papillon would be given only half a bowl of soup from today onwards. Days passed, and Papillon became very weak due to insufficient food. A few days later, the warden came to him again and asked the name of the coconut sender. But this time also Papillon didn't tell him anything. In anger, the warden ordered that Papillon spend the rest of his punishment in a dark room. Days passed, and as time passed, Papillon became very weak. And now his mental condition was also getting worse. So, jail guards admitted him to the hospital so that doctors could treat him. Fortunately, Dega also worked in the same hospital where Papillon was admitted. In the last year, Dega won the trust of the warden, with which happily the warden gave him a job in the hospital. That day when Dega goes to meet Papillon, he comes to know that Papillon is pretending to be crazy so that he can be put in a normal jail and he can try to escape from here. After this, he made a plan to escape from jail with 2 more prisoners, and these prisoners were named Celier and Maturette. Both of them were included in the plan so that Celier could arrange a board and Maturette can distract the guards of the jail. After all the planning, he decided to escape from here on Sunday because on Sunday, it was decided to forget everyone's diaper, also because on Sundays films are shown to all the prisoners and the security of the jail is also very less. Now on Sunday, when everyone was busy watching movies, he decided to escape from jail. Although Dega was afraid of coming along, when Papillon made him understand, he also agreed to come along. After this, he reached the jail canteen, where he cleverly found Behushi's drink in a liquor bottle and gave that liquor to the jail guards. On the other side, Papillon and his companions reached the main gate of the jail and started waiting for Dega there, because it was Dega's responsibility to steal the key to the gate. But suddenly it started raining heavily, due to which the lights in the jail went out and all the guards started leaving the jail. But despite this, Dega somehow stole the key to the gate and reached out to her friends. After this, these 4 came out of the jail, took them to the boat, took advantage of the darkness, and went out into the sea. And took advantage of the situation and went into the sea. The next morning, these four noticed that they were not far from the jail. Here, Cellier says that this boat is too small and cannot move fast with four people. And after saying this, he attacked the matured and threw him into the sea. After this, he tried to kill Dega too, but then Papillon came in between and they started fighting. Here, Cellier was hitting Papillon and he could have killed him at any moment, but at the last moment, Degas stabbed him in the stomach, which killed Cellier. After Cellier's death, he pulled the matrilineal up first, and then these three together drowned his body in the water. Time passed, and a few hours later, he faced a dangerous storm. This storm was so dangerous that it was dark all around. And then his little boat also turned over. The next morning, when he woke up, all of them were on Columbian Island. The people of this island saw them floating in the water and saved their lives. Now that evening, Papillon came to Dega and asked him to leave from here. But Dega refused to come with him because he was tired of running. After this, Papillon asked Matured, but he also refused to come with him because the girls of this island had taken his heart. Finally, Papillon decided to move ahead alone and started coming out of the island. But then he saw the police car and he immediately understood that the nun had given the police information about them. Here, Papillon came running to Dega and started taking him away from there. But unfortunately, the guards caught them and shot the maturate and killed him. After that, they were brought back to jail where Papillon was sentenced to spend 5 years in a dark room. Dega was sent to Devil's Island because he had mixed up the guards' alcohol. Now, after 5 years, when Papillon had fulfilled his punishment, he was also sent to Devil's Island, where he had to spend the rest of his life. Papillon reached the jail and was very happy to meet Dega after 5 years. Now that evening, they went to the top of the mountain, where Papillon's eyes went to the floating coconut. Seeing this, he got an idea and he told Dega that if we use the coconut to make a boat, we can escape from this jail. Dega refused to come with them, but he agreed to help Papillon. After that, they collected a lot of coconuts and made a boat using it. Now the next morning, they went to the top of the mountain again where they hugged each other. After that, Papillon threw the boat into the water and jumped down from the top of the mountain. Luckily, his plan worked and the waves of the sea started taking him away from Tapu. Now, while seeing Papillon leaving, Dega started crying because he was very happy for his friend's freedom. Now, a few years after leaving the jail, Papillon wrote a book in which he told all the stories of his jail. At the end of the story, we see the real Papillon, whose real name is Henry. And with this great movie ended here.